guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Coffee Talk, where I take an interesting topic and give it to you in the time it takes to drink a cup of coffee. So grab yourself a hot cup of coffee, make sure it is steaming hot, add a little vanilla creamer if you like, and if coffee is not quite what you do, perhaps a nice herbal tea is more you. Make sure that it is steeped to perfection. My favorite tea is lavender tea with a touch of agave. And if tea and coffee are not what you do, perhaps a nice fruity smoothie is more for you. And let's get into today's hot topic, which is a little hotter than usual. Today, we're going to talk about why Tourette syndrome is not an excuse for using the N-word. So, let's get into today's hot topic. Imagine you're watching one of the biggest nights in film. Two celebrated Black actors, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, are standing on stage at the Royal Festival Hall in London, presenting an award at the 2026 BAFTA Film Awards. The atmosphere is celebratory. Then, cutting through the broadcast, a voice from the audience shouts the N-word. The man responsible for that outburst is John Davidson, a campaigner with Tourette syndrome, whose life story inspired the nominated film, I Swear. In the days that have followed, we have seen a whirlwind of reactions. Host Alan Cummings apologized for the strong language, Tourette's charities explained the nature of involuntary tics, and the BBC was forced to edit the slur from recordings. But we also saw anger. Actor Wendell Pierce stated it was infuriating that the immediate reaction wasn't a full-throated apology to the two Black men on stage. Jamie Foxx commented that the slur was unacceptable, while production designer Hannah Beachler revealed she was also targeted by a slur after the show, calling the apology a throwaway. This incident has forced us into a difficult conversation. It sits at the intersection of disability rights and racial trauma. Today we're going to ask a crucial question. Is Tourette syndrome an excuse for using the N-word? The short answer is no. But to understand why, we need to look deeper at the nature of Tourette's, the weight of the word itself, and the difference between an explanation and an excuse. First, let's talk about what Tourette's actually is. It is a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by involuntary movements and sounds called tics. These tics are real, and for the person experiencing them, they are uncontrollable. They often feel a buildup of tension that is only released when the tic is performed. The specific symptoms we saw at the BAFTAs is called coprolalia. This is the involuntary utterance of socially inappropriate or taboo words, often obscenities or racial slurs. It's crucial to understand that coprolalia is not a reflection of a person's thoughts or beliefs. Dr. Tamara Pringstein, a neurologist, shared a powerful story with the CBC about the first time she met a patient with Tourette's. The patient began shouting racial and sexist slurs directed at her. She initially felt offended and threatened, but then she realized that the person had no intention to harm her. The words were meaningless to his actual character. This is the fundamental truth of the condition. As Emma McNally of Tourette's Action said, the tics are not a reflection of a person's beliefs, intentions, or character. However, we need to clear up a massive misconception. Because of media portrayals, many people think that Tourette's is just the swearing disease. The reality is that coprolalia only affects between 10 and 30% of people with Tourette syndrome. This means the majority of people with the condition do not swear at all. Furthermore, even for those who do, the tics are not selective. They don't just blurt out mild curse words. As we saw, they can latch onto the most venomous, historically violent words in the language. But here's the key point the Tourette's community wants you to understand. The tic is the action, not the intent. John Davidson himself said he was deeply mortified and stressed his involuntary tics do not carry any meaning. So if the person doesn't mean it, and it's a medical symptom, why is that not an excuse? This brings us to the heart of the matter. We have to separate the cause from the impact. Imagine someone with a physical disability accidentally knocking a glass out of your hand. The cause is their uncontrollable muscle spasm. The impact is that your glass is broken and your drink is spilled. You can understand the cause and still be upset about the impact. The N-word is not just a bad word. It is a racial slur imbued with centuries of violence, oppression, and trauma. When Delroy, Lindo, and Michael B. Jordan were standing on that stage, they were not just actors. They were Black men in a professional environment who were suddenly subjected to that slur in front of millions. Their hurt is immediate and valid. And as Wendell Pierce correctly pointed out, the priority must be the insult to them. Hannah Beachler, the production designer, who was also targeted, noted the complexity of the situation, calling it almost impossible. But she also highlighted the failure of the response, specifically the caveated apology of if you were offended. She said, "Of course we were offended." When we lead with the diagnosis as a reason to avoid discomfort, we invalidate the pain of the people who have to endure hearing that word. We can hold two truths at once. Truth A, John Davidson has a disability that causes him to involuntarily utter words that he does not believe. He deserves our empathy and understanding. Truth B, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were subjected to a racial slur on a public stage. They deserve our empathy, our apology, and our protection. The failure of the BBC broadcast wasn't just a technical glitch. It was a failure to protect Black talent from harm, even when that harm comes from a place of disability. In fact, the BBC was widely criticized for cutting a political speech about Palestine from the broadcast while leaving the slur intact, which highlighted a disturbing set of editorial priorities. Y'all, this is a lot. Tourette syndrome is not an excuse for using the N-word, because having a disability doesn't magically shield others from the impact of your actions. It explains the why behind the outburst, but it doesn't make the outburst less harmless. So, I know this one's been long. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Give me your comments down in the comment section and let me know how you feel about this. Please also follow me on my other social media, and we will continue this conversation in the next one. Until then, peace and blessings from the West Side. I'm out, you guys. One more thing, y'all. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I'm definitely going to leave my references for this video in the description. I'll see y'all.